it's summertime for South Florida students, but there's no vacation for the people who run our public schools, and that is certainly true in Broward County. Broward is home to the 6th largest public school system in the nation, with more than 247,000 students. They're enrolled in Broward's 239 public schools and 88 charter schools. It's an A-rated district with an 89% graduation rate just last year. But Broward School Superintendent Howard Hepburn faces a lot of issues. Declining enrollment, that means fewer state dollars, the end of free lunches for all students, school closings, and of course, keeping students and teachers safe. We're touching on all those topics and more in a special one-on-one interview with Howard Hepburn. As the head of Florida's 2nd largest school district, Howard Hepburn has a lot on his plate, but he was quick to rave about the signs of academic progress showing up in the test scores of Broward County public school students. The assessment scores, I guess, should be out pretty soon, if not already. What do you expect, or what have you learned so far? I'm expecting
our performance to be even higher than the previous year. As you know, just this past year, our first A in over a decade. We have no D and F schools since 1999, and we actually expect that to go even higher this year. So we've been monitoring our performance. We've done testing for the school year. So unofficially right now, we're going to keep our A. And unofficially, we expect to have no more D and F schools again for this upcoming school year.
And how does that break down in terms of the ethnic breakup?
All of our schools. So you have, as far as ethnic breakdowns, all of our students are performing well. So we monitor that. We really pour in a lot of resources, a lot of support at our schools just to make sure we can help students close the gap even faster.
You know, a lot of students, unfortunately, come to school hungry.
Yes.
And I know for the past couple of years, Broward has been blessed because you've had the free lunches.
Yes.
That's gone away. So how do you fill that gap?
Well, so we had a lot of additional funds in support of that initiative during the COVID years. And unfortunately, a lot of those funds have been depleted and run out. So we're reverting back to what we were doing before COVID, which eligible students, right, they have to fill out the paperwork. And some, you don't have to fill out the paperwork. There's some automatic qualifiers that get you that free lunch. So we're reverting back to what we were doing before COVID, where parents would fill out that paperwork to see if they're eligible to receive free and reduced lunch. But of course, no student will go hungry in our district. We have a lot of supporters and a lot of partners that are sure that every student that needs a meal will get a meal.
With enrollment declining and budget constraints, Broward is still weighing whether some public schools should be closed. And in some communities, the outcry about that has been loud. While the district is looking at repurposing some schools, Hepburn thinks one solution might be to build new ones. Your idea is, though, to build new schools and maybe funnel several schools into that, but some wonder how Broward County would be able to afford to do that.
So, you know, we have some difficult decisions to make. Our footprint, as far as a district, is too large. Just like other large school districts across the country, it's not a Broward County issue, it's a national issue. There's a decline in enrollment for various reasons, right? The spectrum of variables that are causing that is wide. And so we're certainly not different from any other school district that has to make tough decisions. And so we have to work with our communities and get them to understand the why. Also leverage other opportunities and strategies, such as if we have to consolidate, there may be some considerations. Instead of me consolidating a school or several schools into another old building, it may be feasible for us to consolidate into a newer building and build a replacement school. So the way most school districts do that, even when we build a new school without these issues, is that you have to go out and borrow money. Just like when you go buy a home, you go to the bank and you borrow money and you pay that mortgage off. It's the same thing for us as school districts. Could be a bond issue? No, not necessarily a bond issue. We go out and we borrow money for large facility projects all the time, and we pay that down over years, just like any personal mortgage that people leverage to buy their own home.
Last year, metal detectors were installed at all Broward public high schools. Hepburn says that's just one measure put in place to make sure students are safe.
Yeah, so we have so many layers of security. Number one, see something, say something. That's a simple strategy that many people leverage to let us know if something's going to happen at our school, somebody has bad intent. You have Fortify Florida, which people use often to let us know if they see something online. You have our Safer Watch Alyssa's alert system, where that's a electronic panic alert system on your cell phone and also on the desktop. And then we also have our metal detectors at our high schools, which all of our high school students are screened screened before they come into the building, just to make sure they don't have anything they're not supposed to have on campus. Oftentimes, they're not planning to do something, but sometimes you make a mistake. They're kids, and we want to make sure they don't make that mistake on our campus. And then coming up this school year, we're adding an additional layer where all of our staff members, be it in schools or in administrative buildings, will have panic alert badges to actually help with a quicker response from law enforcement. If they see something, if they're concerned about something, they just click that badge and they will get a response from admin and also first responders and police in the area.
So the response can be quick.
Exactly. So we have, if something is in the area that they feel like is going to do harm to our campus. So.
Well, Broward's public schools are joining in the artificial intelligence revolution. In the second part of our conversation, we asked the superintendent about what bringing AI into the classroom can mean for students, and also how he navigates the politics of education. I know you're a very busy guy, so let's get into some of the breaking news. I understand that Microsoft and AI are coming to Broward schools.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, Microsoft and AI are coming to Broward County Public Schools. As far as K through 12 organizations, we have the largest agreement with Microsoft for Copilot, which is their AI software. So we'll be leveraging that across our entire district, not just with staff, but also with our students.
I have to tell you, Howard, I'm an old school guy, and sometimes I wonder if artificial intelligence prevents kids from developing real intelligence. Tell me why I'm wrong.
You're wrong, and I'll tell you why. So now our kids are very well resourced. They've already been using artificial intelligence, and sometimes without their knowledge. Now it's about creating an environment where they can apply all that knowledge they're gaining from resources. So AI just helps them do that better. It's not bypassing the critical thinking. It's providing better resource, better access to information, so they can actually create more learning opportunities for themselves.
Then AI is not going to be taking the test for them.
No, it's not going to be taking the test for them.
Okay, I'm glad.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Broward students and teachers find themselves caught in the middle of education becoming politicized. Florida lawmakers have passed a flurry of bills to purge so-called woke ideology from state classrooms, even going as far as banning some books. How do you shield the students from the politics of it to make sure that they're getting what you feel they should?
We are very student-centered as an organization. Everything that we do is concentrated on our students and ensuring that they have quality learning opportunities, quality experiences, and quality exposure. So they're taking the learning outside of the classroom and oftentimes applying the learning inside the classroom in different situations and scenarios that equate to real-world situations or industry needs. And so we just stay focused on students. We're not politicians, we're educators. And we just stay focused on students. And that's what I prioritize. That's the message that I send to my team and my staff, just to make sure we're focused on the needs of our kids day in and day out.
But a lot of politicians are putting pressure on you to ban books and ban certain curriculums, which deprives students, frankly, of understanding history and other things that are important.
And we deal with those situations as they arise. We're very good about receiving that information from the state, putting in the digestible bites just to make sure we're following the law. But nonetheless, we work with a lot of partners just to make sure our students are well equipped to meet the industry needs.
Hepburn has high praise for the 14,000 plus teachers in Broward schools, but their average salary is 6% below the national average. We asked him what's being done to improve that. And I've talked to some teachers who say, you know what, I can't afford to do this. I got to move elsewhere. So how do you deal with it?
And I understand the concern. One of our priorities is to any cost savings that we identify, we try to pour that into the buckets of salaries, just to make sure our teachers are well compensated. Also, thanks to the voters of Broward County, they voted to approve a referendum a few years ago, which helps to supplement teacher salaries on an average of about $10,000 for our teachers. So there's a spectrum between that, but on average, it's about $10,000. So salaries are a priority for us, and anything that we can do to increase salaries with cost savings, we prioritize that every chance that we get.
Hepburn's contract was recently extended for another 5 years. This education lifer says his goals will remain the same.
I think the toughest challenge is to ensure that everybody in our system is totally focused on the betterment of our students, totally focused on providing the best learning opportunities, or if they're not directly in contact with a kid, what they do should be able to facilitate those opportunities at our schools. So we stay student-centered all day, every day. Every decision that we make, from facilities, from food service, from transportation to the classroom, it's all student-centered.
Howard Hepburn, thanks for stopping by the show.